Good morning, Percussion. How are we doing today, guys? It is Tie Tuesday. Okay, ties do not require dress pants. Admit it. Not many people can pull off the dress shirt and the short look. All right. Also rocking the Arkadelphia Badger cap. That is my alma mater. That's where I went to school and started in beginner band on drums way back in the day. Okay, so today we are moving on with page 27A. 27A, line 4.7, something called cross sticking. Now, there's lots of different ways to do a cross stick, okay? You can do it like this. The book wants you to do it like this, and now it's a little harder on a pad than it would be on a full-size drum. But you're going to put, they want you to do it with your left hand. All right, so I'm doing it with my left hand. I'm going to put the butt of the stick on the drum head. So I take my hand, I turn it over, and I drop it down like that. I'm letting the stick sit across the edge of the drum. And when you have the X on the line, you pivot up, keeping the back end of the stick pressed into the drum, and pop it down hard. Okay, and they're calling that a cross stick. Now I've seen also done like this, where you're actually crossing the sticks. Okay. That's not what they want for this book. Almost every drum method kind of messes with definitions in their own way. So we're going to go with what they say for this, but be aware if we get another book next year or a different piece of music, they may mean it to mean something completely different. But this is what they mean. It describes it, okay? Shoulder of the left stick on the counter hoop, rest the butt in the center of the drum head, raise the tip of the stick and click the rim. Keep the butt in contact with the drum head. So that's done one-handed, and the other notes are with the other hand. So you're slightly offhand. So look at the first measure of 4.7. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. That's not terribly cool on a drum pad, but if we were on a snare drum, that'd be a pretty interesting sound. And if we were going a lot faster, it'd be like good. And you usually get a lesson like. A lot of different patterns you can do with that. It gives you kind of what's called a Latin feel. So forget all of that weirdness, and let's just read this line here on 4.7. It's actually pretty easy. Okay, pay attention to your sticking. You're playing the note heads with the right hand on the drum and the X's with the cross stick on the rim. Ready? 1 and 2. Now, this is Allegro. Okay, so we need to go back and talk about our tempos yesterday, right? Because we only played in one, even though we learned 3. Largo, Moderato, and Allegro. Now, this one's Allegro. I strongly recommend that you practice first time through Moderato. As you're sight reading something, you always want to go slower. So we're going to look at this, and we're going to go our same old tempo, which we said was Moderato. We'll go back in a minute, and we'll do it Allegro. So here we go. Moderato. This is practice version of 4/7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and ready and go. 1 and 2 and 3. 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 1, 2, 3. 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 1. Might have to go over those last 2 bars a couple times. 1 and 2 and 1. If you're not careful, that'll sneak up on you because that's the only measure that's different from the rest of it, right? And so you look at this and you go, wow, why write a song with 3 lines? It's the same measure over and over. Well, it's meant to match up with what the band's playing for 4/7. All right. This is, a method book. It's supposed to work if you're in a class with other people. And so if we were together and half of us were playing bells, this would work. Or if we were rehearsing with the flutes or something like that, that's what's supposed to happen there. All right. Now, let's try an Allegro. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1 and ready and go. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 And again, if you had a big drum, you'd have a lot more room to maneuver there as opposed to these little drum pads. You don't have a lot of room. You'll hit your hand if you're not careful. All right. Hint, hint, Austin and others that tend to play on all kinds of weird spots on the drum. You really got to hold it together right there on that playing surface. Okay, moving on to 4.8. All right, 4.8 is largo, very slow. There's no reason to play this one twice because we're going to do it very slow the first time. Let's look at your patterns. You have 16ths in it. All right, I do want to count it first. Let's verbalize this one because of the 16th patterns. I'm going to move my stand a little closer to me. Okay, so we're going to verbalize this one first, and we'll verbalize it moderato. Ready? 1, 2, and ready, and go. 1 and a 2, and 3 and a 4, and 1 and a 2, and 3 and a 4, and 1 and 2, and 3 and a 4, 1 and 2, and 3 and a 4, 1 and a 2, and 3 and a 4, and 1 and a 2, and 3 and a 4, and 1 and a 2, and a 3 and a 4, and 1 and a 2, and a 3 and 4. Right? Crescendos and decrescendos. Now we're going to play it, and we're going to play it largo. Ready? Down, up, ready, and go. 1 and a 2, and 3 and a 4, and 1 and a 2, and 3 and a 4, and 1 and 2, and 3 and a 4, 1 and 2, and 3 and a 4, 1 and a 2, and 3 and a 4, and 1 and a 2, and 3 and a 4, and 1 and a 2, and a 3 and a 4, and a 2 and a 3 and 4. Don't get crazy in that crescendo, right? We're just going from mezzo piano to mezzo forte. That's just one dynamic change. All right, then it does decrescendo all the way down to piano. All right. Now tomorrow we're going to move on. The next video we're going to move on into something else. We're going to move on into 16th note bounces, which we did a little bit of that in class, and we are very close to just flat out playing rolls. So you've been itching for this technique the whole year. So now we are finally here. Like to be playing some rolls. So stay with me, keep practicing, pass off some lines for me, please, and I will see you guys on the next video.